SmackDown starts off with Cody Rhodes. He was cutting a promo basically mentioning Saturday night's main event, mentioning pulling the trigger. Then he ends up mentioning Drew McIntyre, mentions that he basically is done with Drew McIntyre. He's moving on, and he wonders what's next for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Then you get Aleister Black. He comes out with Selena Vega, comes out, says a few words. Then Cody would start taking off his tie. Selena gets in front of Aleister Black, and then she basically ends up slapping Cody Rhodes. Nick Aldis comes out, makes the match official towards the main event. So they end up having the match in the main event, which was a very solid match, but then ends up getting basically a no contest due to Drew McIntyre interfering, hits a Claymore to the referee, starts trying to attack Cody. Aleister and Drew McIntyre double team Cody Rhodes. Then you get Damian Priest comes out, helps out Cody. He attacks Aleister Black because he still wants his revenge. They go back and forth. This leads into a brawl between Aleister and Damian and Cody and Drew. Then eventually the baby faces get the upper hand, and then Nick Aldis comes out and suspends Drew McIntyre. So this is very interesting. I like it and I don't like it because it is something new, but at the same time it's like, what's next for Cody Rhodes? Because if Drew McIntyre is going to be suspended, what does Cody Rhodes do? Because like I said, the only other person he could face is Randy, but we haven't seen Randy on TV in I don't know how long it's been. And I don't really know what they're going to do with Cody, because if Drew's going to be suspended, how long is he suspended for? Is Cody just going to not be on the show, or is he just going to cut random promos? Because it looks like Aleister is still going to be busy with Damian. I was kind of hoping Aleister would actually face Cody Rhodes in an actual feud, because that would be something new, refreshing, even though we know Cody would win, but it'd be something different. I just don't know what was the purpose of this, because there's no way Drew can be suspended longer than 1 week of SmackDown, because what is Cody going to do for Survivor Series? Like, Cody has to be on the show. There's no way Cody is missing Survivor Series, and there's no way you're about to tell me he's going to be in the War Games match. So there has to be another way. Drew McIntyre is going to be on the show next week, some way interfere in something, and then he's just going to get rid of the suspension. This is probably going to lead to another match, isn't it? It's probably going to lead to Cody versus Drew McIntyre part 3. Yeah, this will be part 3. Part 3, technically part 4, because they had WrestlePalooza, they had that SmackDown match, and then they had technically part 4. But yeah, so part 4, and we'll see Cody Rhodes probably beat Drew McIntyre again at Survivor Series. So we'll see how this all plays out. Afterwards, we end up getting a U.S. Open Challenge with Ilya Dragunov. Tommaso Ciampa ends up coming out due to last week, due to him being declined, so he wanted his opportunity. But Ilya ends up trolling him and ends up playing mind games to Tommaso Ciampa, and he ends up choosing Johnny instead, and Johnny Gargano was the one who ended up taking the challenge instead. So they ended up having a match. It was a really good match. Ilya retained. I like the Open Challenge from Ilya. Ilya is one of the most underrated wrestlers in the world in general. Love Ilya Dragunov. I love the Open Challenge. Interested to see how this continues. Interested to see how long he holds it for, to be honest with you, because right now, I don't know what heel can really face Ilya Dragunov, because I'm assuming a heel will probably be thrown him, but who knows? They probably just do another babyface change as well. So, very interested to see what they do here, but this was a really good match, and I hope they continue. Afterwards, we end up getting Jade Cargill. She ends up cutting a very, very short promo, which I actually appreciate. She basically ends up saying that she's that bitch. That's basically what she says. She says that she's that bitch now, leaves. Charlotte and Alexa ends up coming out, interrupting her to get ready for their match. They end up having a little stare down, so it looks like they're teasing the Charlotte Flair Jade Cargill potentially. They end up teasing that way when Jade Cargill first debuted on the main roster as well, so they're still teasing that. Then there was another segment later on where Jade Cargill is basically acting. She has this new, basically attitude, new persona of her being this super arrogant, very arrogant, very I want to say bougie, but she's acting very arrogant. Let's just say that. And I really love it because the promo she cut was very short, but it's better. It's a better promo than any babyface promo she ever done. This is all I ever wanted with Jade Cargill. I literally said, just turn her heel. She will be a lot better, and we're already seeing it right now. She comes off way more confident, way more authentic. Like, it just feels more natural. Her babyface run just felt so forced. This felt way more authentic. This feels like the real Jade Cargill. Even if it's not even a real self, her in real life, it just feels more natural. Like, it just feels way more natural. She ended up having a backstage moment with B-Fab and Meechin, where she was constantly being a little bit rude, Then she ends up confronting B-Fab, ends up saying that she has a problem. They could have a match next week. So we're going to have that match next week where I'm assuming Jade Cargill is going to squash B-Fab because I like B-Fab. I still would like the idea of her being a pairing with B-Fab, her, being a mouthpiece for her. But there's no way you're about to tell me that B-Fab should be competing with Jade Cargill. So I'm interested in this Jade Cargill heel turn. Now, I don't think her reign will be that good due to the lack of competition, but her character-wise, I think could be really good. So I'm very interested to see how this all plays out. Now we get Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax. This match actually surprised me. I actually like what they did here. We end up getting Nia Jax picks up the victory due to the debut of Lash Legend interfering, costing Charlotte Flair the match, which I actually enjoyed. I was very surprised by it because I was like, there's no way you're about to tell me you're about to have Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss beat Nia Jax back to back. I'm like, that would be no point. Like, what was the point of this? This actually serves a purpose. So I'm assuming Lash Legend and Nia Jax are going to be in the tag team division, which if they are, that's actually smart because SmackDown needs tag teams because all the tag teams are on Raw. So build up the tag team division. I like it. Now, I am a bit confused with the pairing because these two were just fighting each other not that long ago. But they gave not much of an explanation. They kind of gave the same explanation that Seth Rollins gave with Bronson Reed, basically saying that they're both extremely dominant. I know how she is in the ring, so it makes sense to just be teaming together. But the pairing, I will say, is going to be interesting because they're both heels, but they're both different types of heels in terms of their persona and character. So I'm very interested to see how that works out. But I'm actually very interested in this. And then later in the show, it was a segment where they was in the doctor's area with Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, and Asuka ended up pretending to be a doctor and ends up hitting it with a miss, which I thought was great. So very interested to see how this playing. This women's tag team division is actually shaping up to be quite well. I still don't like that all the tag teams are just single stars because we all know what's going to happen once Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss lose those titles. But it is shaping up to be a nice division. So I'm very interested to see how that all plays out. Now we get a women's United States Championship match between Julia, Chelsea Green. Not gonna really speak too much about this match. Basically, Chelsea Green ends up winning. She ends up getting a roller pin on Julia. She ends up using the ropes as leverage, and she won. And I like it. I like it personally because unlike they was at least trying something with Julia, but to be fair, it was going nowhere. It was nothing to go with Julia. There was no direction. Like, what was Julia and Kiana James really going to do with that championship? And the fact that Julia has held that title for like 200 something days, and she only had like 3 title defenses is a bit ridiculous. I like the idea of Chelsea Green holding that title. Chelsea Green is a way better character, way more entertaining. She's more over with the crowd. Plus, she's doing stuff with AAA and stuff, so they could do that crossover. There's just more options with Chelsea Green. I love it. I'm a bit biased because I love Chelsea Green. She's one of my favorite wrestlers ever in terms of women. She does amazing work. Plus, they doing this thing with Ethan Page because Ethan Page was out there too. They're both they're both double champs, so they're going to tell that storyline. Plus, she's been on NXT, so they can have NXT. This is just great. I love this idea. I know all the Julia fanboys are going to be mad, but this was the correct choice. This was the correct choice. There's just more options to do with Chelsea Green. Plus, they actually showcase Chelsea Green more than they do Julia, in my opinion. I feel like they're more invested in someone like a Chelsea Green than they are Julia right now. So, I like what they did here. This was great. Interesting to see how a U.S. Championship run plays out. We get the MFTs. We end up getting Tala Tonga versus Rey Fenix. Tala Tonga picks up the victory. He won cleanly, which I do like. I like that Tala Tonga won clean because he should not be struggling against Rey Fenix. No offense. After the match, they try to attack him, but then Sami Zayn comes out. So it looks like we're getting the Sami Zayn MFT Vortex again, which I'm not that mad about. Sami Zayn, Nick Aldis has been telling Sami Zayn to avoid it because he's not medically cleared, but Sami said that he can't keep letting his friends get attacked. So it looks like next week or sometime soon we're going to get Sami Zayn actually involved having matches against the MFTs. So we'll see how this plays out. Hopefully, I'm hoping this leads to something bigger for Sami Zayn because as much as I like Solo, he needs to be doing more important things than feuding with the MFT. That's what I'm saying. So hopefully this is leading to something bigger like the World Championship, which I highly doubt, but I still have a tiny bit of hope. It's very small, but a tiny bit of hope that eventually goes after the world title, whether it's on SmackDown or on Raw. I don't care which one, to be honest with you. So we'll see how this plays out. Overall, SmackDown, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the overall show. I thought it was a very good show. I like some of the stories that they're telling. Now, some of them are a bit confusing, like the Cody Rhodes, Alistair, Damian Priest. That's a bit confusing with Drew McIntyre and stuff, but overall, I really don't have much complaints. It was an enjoyable watch. So very interested to see how all these stories plays out. But you guys let me know your overall thoughts and opinions down below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.